1B. Listening. You will hear people talking in 4 different situations. A situation is a combination of everything happening at that moment. For questions 1 to 4, choose the best answer A, B, or C. Before we listen to the recordings, here is a tip for you. Read the questions and options carefully, with attention, before you hear each extract. An extract is a small part taken from a bigger part. Before we listen, you read the questions carefully and you read the options carefully before you listen. Tip number 2. Listen to the extracts carefully. Don't try to understand every single word or phrase, but focus, concentrate on the whole message, on the complete message. Try to understand the message. Don't try to understand every single word. Choose the option which best answers the questions. Don't choose an option just because words or phrases included, contained in the extract appear in it. Like when you read this option, you read great time. Don't choose A just because you heard great time. No, you need to understand the whole message. Now read the question. You overhear 2 people talking. When you overhear somebody talking, you hear them talking unintentionally. You don't mean to listen, but it happened. Maybe because their voices are too loud. So you hear them, but you don't mean to listen. What is true about the man who went on holiday? Is it true that he had a great time? He is disappointed, frustrated. He had a terrible time, a very bad time. Now listen to the recording.
Did you have a good time during your holiday?
It wasn't what I expected.
Oh, I remember you had a great time in Italy last summer.
Yeah, I did. But this time it wasn't as good as last year. You see, the weather was terrible.
Now I will show you the listening transcript. Don't continue this video unless you have already chosen A, B, or C and you want to check your answer. If you are not sure which one to choose, listen to the recording again. Did you have a good time during your holiday? It wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be better. That's what I thought. Oh, I remember you had a great time in Italy last summer. Oh, last summer, last year, he had a great time. So we will not choose A because he said it wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be better. Yeah, I did. But this time it wasn't as good as last year. Last year was better. You see, the weather was terrible. Weather is the temperature and all other conditions like the sun, the rain, the clouds. So which one will we choose? B. He didn't say that he had a terrible time. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as last year. So last year was better. This year was okay. He is a little bit disappointed. 2. You overhear a conversation. Where does it take place? Where does it happen? At an airport, at a bus stop, or on a train? Now listen.
May I see your boarding pass, please?
Yes, of course. Just a minute.
Hurry up, please. There's a long queue behind you waiting to board.
Oh, here it is.
Listening transcript. May I see your boarding pass, please? Boarding pass is the boarding ticket. Yes, of course. Just a minute. Hurry up, please. Quickly, please. There is a long queue behind you. Look, this is a queue. People waiting to be served. Queue. Just like the letter Q. there's a long queue behind you, waiting to board, waiting to get on the plane. Oh, here it is. Okay, this conversation is at an airport. 3. You overhear a conversation. Who or what did Sherman Street get its name from? There is a street named Sherman. This is the name of the street. Is it named Sherman because there's a person named Sherman? Or is it because there's a place named Sherman? Or maybe a tree named Sherman? Now listen.
So, Mr. Dawson, we were talking about how some streets got their names.
Well, there are a number of streets named after important figures, famous places, authors, explorers and so on.
What about Sherman Street? It's named after the famous General Sherman tree, right?
Well, there is a Sherman Street. It wasn't named after the tree, but a writer called Victor Sherman.
So, Mr. Dawson, we were talking about how some streets got their names. Well, there are a number of streets named after important figures, named after they got their names from important figures, important people, famous places, authors, writers, explorers, people who love adventures and finding new places, and so on. The list continues. What about Sherman Street? It's named after the famous General Sherman tree, right? It's named after a tree, is that right? Well, there is a Sherman Street, but it wasn't named after the tree, no. After a writer called Victor Sherman. So it is named after a person. It got its name from a person. 4. You overhear two friends talking. What can we tell about food in India and Saudi Arabia? Are they completely different? Totally different? It is similar to that of other countries. Similar, they share some characteristics. Some ingredients are the same. Ingredients, the food, the spices you use when you cook. Now listen.
Food is very important for us in India, and we love preparing it.
I've never tried food from other countries, so I don't know what Indian food tastes like. Is it spicy?
Yes. In Kerala, where I come from, we use a lot of spices and coconut in our food. Like in Saudi Arabia, we eat lots of vegetables, chicken and rice. Do you have bread with your food?
Of course.
Ours is called naan.
Listening transcript. Food is very important for us in India, and we love preparing it. I've never tried food from other countries, so I don't know what Indian food tastes like. Hussam is Saudi. He has never tried food from India, from America, from Europe. Is it spicy? Spicy food has a strong taste and it gives you a pleasant burning sensation in your mouth. Yes, in Kerala, where I come from, Sunil comes from Kerala. It is the name of the place in India where he is from. We use a lot of spices and coconut. This is coconut in our food. Spices, plural noun. Spicy is adjective. Spicy food. Spices, noun, like black pepper. Black pepper is one of the spices we use when we cook. Like in Saudi Arabia, we eat lots of vegetables, chicken and rice. Do you have bread with your food? Do you see this right here? That is bread. Bread. Of course, ours is called naan. The name of the bread we make, we call it naan. Okay, is the food completely different between Saudi Arabia and India? No, they use the same ingredients like vegetables, chicken and rice. They both use them. Is it similar to that of other countries? We don't know. Some ingredients are the same. Yes, that is true. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I'll see you again next time, inshallah. Goodbye.